Hello, my friends, and welcome back to English Unlocked. I'm Peter. Today, we're diving into something that confuses almost every English learner: when to use the past simple and when to use the present perfect. Have you ever said something like, "I went to Japan," and then wondered if you should have said, "I've been to Japan," instead? You're not alone. In this lesson, I'll share real-life examples from my own story, my first jobs, my travels, and the habits that changed my life, so you can feel how these two tenses sound in real conversation. By the end, you'll not only understand the grammar, but you'll start thinking naturally in English, just like a native speaker. If you want more lessons like this, full of real stories, practical examples, and useful speaking tips, make sure to subscribe, like, and share so you don't miss the next episode of English Unlocked. Are you ready to finally unlock your English? Let's get started. I'm Peter, and today I want to tell you a little story from my life. It's not a grammar class. It's a real story, simple and true. Through my story, you will hear how we use the past tense and the present perfect tense in real life. When I was young, I started working in a small coffee shop near my school. I cleaned tables, made drinks, and talked to customers. It was not an easy job, but I learned a lot. I only worked there for 6 months, but it taught me how to be patient and polite. Sometimes I was tired, but I was also proud because I was learning something new every day. After I finished university, I wanted something bigger. I went to many job interviews. Finally, I found a job as an English teacher. My first class was a disaster. I was so nervous that I forgot half of my plan. My students looked confused, and I wanted to hide. But I didn't give up. After a few weeks, I became more confident. I worked in 3 different schools. I met students from many countries. Some were shy, some were funny, but all of them wanted to learn. I made new lesson plans, created activities, and started a speaking club. Every class taught me something new, not only about English but about people. Over time, I realized something special. Teaching was not just my job, it was my passion. I have learned so much from my students. They have told me about their dreams and their cultures. Because of them, I have become a better teacher and a better person. When I think about my teaching life, I feel grateful. I have watched many students grow and change. I have seen shy people become confident speakers. Every message from my students makes me smile. And that is why I still love teaching today. So, my friends, that's how my journey began. Next, I will tell you how traveling opened my heart and changed the way I see the world. But before that, take a deep breath and think. What have you learned from your own work or study so far? When I first started learning English, I was so excited. I bought many books, watched movies, and listened to songs in English. But after some weeks, I felt lost. I could understand a few words, but I couldn't make sentences. I remember one day I tried to order coffee in English. The waiter didn't understand me, and I felt so embarrassed. That day, I went home and almost wanted to give up. But something inside me said, "Don't stop now." So I started again, but this time I changed my way. I didn't try to be perfect. I just tried to speak simple English, like, "I want coffee," not, "Could I please have a cup of coffee with milk?" And you know what? It worked. People understood me, and I felt happy again. From that day, I learned one big lesson: use simple words, but speak every day. Even 5 minutes of speaking or listening can help more than 1 hour of grammar study. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are not your enemy, they are your teachers. In the next part, I will tell you how I learned to think in English, not just translate from my language. That changed everything for me. It made English feel alive. After I learned to speak simple English, something new happened. I started to notice that I was still thinking in my own language first. Every time I wanted to say something, my brain translated it word by word. It was slow, and sometimes my words came out wrong. I knew I had to change the way I think. So, I began to train my brain to think in English. At first, it was hard, really hard. I tried to name things around me in English. For example, when I saw a bun, I said in my mind, table. When I was hungry, I said, I want to eat. It felt strange at first, but slowly it became easier. Then I started to talk to myself in English. Yes, I really did. When I was walking, I said, the sun is hot today. When I was cooking, I said, I'm cutting vegetables. It was funny, but it worked so well. After some time, I didn't need to translate anymore. Words came naturally, and I felt more confident. That's when I realized, English is not just a subject, it's a habit. If you want to be good, you must live with it every day. When I started to think in English, I knew I needed to make it part of my daily life. So I changed small things around me. Every morning when I woke up, I said, "Good morning," to myself in English. When I brushed my teeth, I said, "I am brushing my teeth." It sounds funny, right? But it really helped me. I also put English words on the things in my room. On my door, I wrote door. On my mirror, I wrote mirror. Every time I looked at them, I repeated the words. My room became my small English world. Later, I started to watch short English videos every day. Not long, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes I didn't understand everything, but that's okay. I focused on simple sentences, like, "How are you?" or "What's your name?" I listened again and again until my ears got used to the sound. After a few weeks, I noticed something amazing. English was no longer just something I studied. It became part of my day. Like drinking water, eating, or walking. It felt natural. That's when I realized learning English is not about time, it's about habit. If you touch English a little every day, you will grow without feeling tired. In the next chapter, I'll tell you how I used music and movies to make English fun, not boring at all. Music and movies became my secret teachers. After I made English part of my daily life, I wanted to make it fun. So I started to listen to English songs every day. At first, I didn't understand the words, but I liked the rhythm and the sound. I listened again and again. Then I searched for the lyrics and read them while listening. Suddenly, I understood small parts. One line, one word, one feeling. Sometimes I even sang along, even if my pronunciation was not perfect. I didn't care. It made me smile. It made me feel free. That's how English started to stay in my heart, not just in my mind. Movies helped me too. I didn't watch big action movies at first. They spoke too fast. I chose simple stories, like cartoons or family movies. I watched them with English subtitles, then without subtitles. Each time, I understood a little more. And sometimes, I repeated the actors' lines out loud. It felt strange at first, but fun. One day, I noticed I could understand small jokes in English movies. I laughed and thought, wow, I really got it this time. That feeling, it's amazing. Learning English with music and movies made me forget I was even studying. It became something I loved to do. After learning from songs and movies, I knew it was time to speak. Yes, to really use English with real people. But I was scared. My heart beat so fast every time I tried to speak. I always thought, what if I say it wrong? What if they laugh? But then I told myself, if I never speak, I will never grow. So I started small. I talked to myself in English every day. Simple things like, I'm hungry, or I'm going to work. Then I joined online chat rooms where people learned English too. Everyone made mistakes, and that made me feel safe. We laughed, we helped each other, and I started to feel more confident. Later, I joined a small English club in my city. The first time I spoke in front of people, my voice was shaking. But after 2 or 3 times, I started to enjoy it. I realized most people don't care if your English is not perfect. They just want to understand and connect with you. One day, I had a full conversation with a tourist in English. It wasn't perfect, but we both smiled. That day I felt proud, really proud, because I knew I was no longer afraid to speak. Speaking English is like riding a bike. You may fall at first, but once you start, you will never forget. There were times I wanted to give up. After many months of learning, I felt tired. Some days I forgot new words. Other days I didn't have time to study. I looked at other people who spoke English better than me and thought, maybe I'm not good enough. It was hard, really hard. But then I remembered why I started. I wanted to speak with people from other countries. I wanted to travel and understand the world. I wanted to feel proud of myself. That small fire inside my heart, it kept me going. So, I changed my way of thinking. I stopped asking, how fast can I learn English? Instead, I asked, how can I enjoy English today? Sometimes I watched a funny video. Sometimes I learned one new word and used it in a sentence. Sometimes I just listened to English songs and relaxed. Small steps, every day. I also wrote my progress in a small notebook. Even if I learned just one thing, I wrote it down. After a month, I looked back and thought, wow, I really improved. That feeling gave me power. Learning English is not a race, it's a journey. And when I accepted that, I felt free again. When I stopped seeing English as a subject, everything changed. It was no longer something I had to study, it became part of my life. I started thinking in English when I was walking, eating, or waiting for the bus. When I saw something new, I asked myself, what is this in English? If I didn't know, I checked it later. It became a small game, and I loved it. I also changed my phone and social media to English. At first, it was strange. Sometimes I didn't understand some words, but I guessed from the pictures or actions. Little by little, I learned without even trying. That's when I realized I was living in English, not just learning it. I made English friends online too. We talked about food, movies, or travel. Not grammar, not lessons, just real life. It felt so natural, and I didn't even notice how much I was improving. One funny thing happened. Sometimes I forgot words in my first language. That's when I smiled and thought, okay, maybe I'm really doing this. When English becomes part of your daily world, learning stops feeling heavy. It feels light, easy, and fun. When English became part of my life, something beautiful happened. I wanted to help others learn too. At first, I just shared small tips with my friends. I told them, don't be shy. Speak even if it's not perfect. They smiled, but I could see they were afraid just like I was before. So I started helping them step by step. We practiced together, listened to English songs, and watched short videos. Sometimes we even played games in English to make it more fun. It was not like a class. It felt like friends helping friends. And you know what? When I taught them, I learned even more. One of my friends told me, Peter, you make English sound easy. That made me so happy, because I realized learning English is not about being smart, it's about being brave and patient. We all can do it if we keep going. Teaching others showed me how far I had come. I saw my old self in their eyes, scared, unsure, but full of hope. And I told them, if I can do it, you can too. That's the truth. Helping others made my English stronger, but it also made my heart warmer. After many years of learning and teaching English, I finally understood what this journey really means. English gave me more than just words. It gave me confidence, freedom, and new friends from all around the world. It opened doors that I never knew existed. Now, when I speak English, I don't think too much. I just express myself, my thoughts, my feelings, my story. And that feels amazing. Sometimes I look back and think about the shy person I used to be, the one who was afraid to speak even one sentence. Now I can talk, laugh, and share ideas with people from many countries. That's something I never imagined before. English changed my life in many ways. It made me more open, more patient, and more curious about the world. It taught me that learning never stops. Even now, after 10 years, I still learn something new every day. Because English is not just a language, it's a bridge that connects people. If you are listening to this, I want you to remember one thing. Your English doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. Every word you say is a step forward. Don't stop. Keep going even slowly. One day you'll look back and smile, just like I do now. So before we end today's story, let me share 2 simple tips that really helped me on this journey. First, make English part of your daily life, even in small moments. Second, Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because every mistake is a step closer to fluency. Thank you so much for listening to English Unlocked. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, so you won't miss the next story and can keep learning with me. See you soon, my friends, and remember, keep learning, keep growing, and keep unlocking your English every day.